Dave Parody here with another slide makeover video podcast based on the ideas in my book, The Visual Slide Revolution. Today's slide comes from one that was shown to me last week. Someone after one of my sessions asked, hey, could you take a look at this slide? I'm struggling with how to make it more visual. He's a medical researcher. And his slide is typical of people who are trying to present data. Let me show you. This is part of his slide. He had about 4 times as much information on his slide, but I just pulled out this one as an example. And you can see that very, very text heavy. And let me point out a few things here. First of all, there's no headline. So I'm not sure what the key point is here. I have no idea. There's a whole bunch of information. And in fact, on the slide that he showed me, there were at least 4 key points. Second, there is a key statistic, which is that the heart disease and stroke are accounting for almost 1/3 of all deaths. That's the key statistic, but we can show that visually. We don't need to say it in text, and in fact, visually it's going to make more of an impact. Then he's got a bunch of additional detail. Now, it is certainly true, but it's not the key point. It's not primary to what his point or his discussion is in this case. The primary is the percentage, the large percentage of deaths that are caused by cardiovascular disease. This type of a situation affects a lot of people who present data. It could be, in this case, medical data. It could be research data. It could be financial data. It could be analysis of operations. Any time where you have a lot of data and you feel that you have to present it all because you need to show that you did the work. And as admirable as that is, frankly, the decision maker doesn't want to see all of it. What they want to see is something that's clear for them to understand what the key point is. So here's how I redid this slide. Very simple slide. And let me show you how I would present it. Folks, as you can see, heart disease and stroke account for almost 1/3 of all of the deaths in Canada. And it's pretty much evenly split when we look at males and females. Males it's 31%, females is 33%, so it's almost exactly the same. And the key point here is that the largest percentage of any of the causes of death is due to cardiovascular disease. So you notice how, first of all, it's a pie chart. That's the right way to represent a percentage out of a whole. I have offset it. It's in color. That's where the focus is. We have a proper headline. We do source it, so the superscript there does give us the source. But the talking points are that additional data. That's not the key point. If they wanted to hear about it, great, it's talking points. So here are some of the lessons from today's makeover when you're thinking about presenting data. First lesson, figure out what the main point is. What is the key point of the data? Too often we just see data dumped on decision makers or audiences, and they're expected to figure out what the key point is. No, presenters, it's your responsibility to do the analysis. That's why in the book, The Visual Slide Revolution, I walk through a 6-step process for analyzing data. So figure out what that main point is, and then make that main point visual. Yes, I know your analysis, your data is probably based on numbers, but there's a visual way to show that. I used a pie graph in today's example. It doesn't have to be a pie graph, could be a line graph, could be a column chart, a bar chart, could be even a process diagram. It depends on the nature of what it is you're presenting, but make it visual so that decision makers can understand it. And finally, you're going to have a lot of subpoints, but as research tells us from Professor Meyer, he has found that additional data presented and put on the slides is going to only cause to confuse people because they don't understand what is the main point, what are you trying to focus on. Keep these lessons in mind when you're presenting data. If you want more information on the book, go to www.visualsliderevolution.com. If you want more information on my training, consulting, videos, go to my website at www.ThinkOutsideTheSlide.com. Thanks, this is Dave Parody, signing off.